Welcome back, everyone. This one's going to be interesting. Post packs and funny story. So, I don't normally take off from work the Monday after PAX Unplugged. I typically take off the Friday so that way I can go all 3 days. Well, this year, apparently, past me had decided I'm going to take Monday off. You know, recuperation, chill out after the con, collect stuff, follow up with people. I have a ton of business cards that I am going through and reaching out to people so that I can do my post PAX recap. Because to be honest, I feel like there were, I'm not going to belabor this one, but it feels like there were less things this year, or maybe just because I've gone so many years that a lot of the repeats are like, oh, well, I already saw that. So it kind of like gets blocked out of your mind. But there were a lot of card games that I was very excited about. I'm like legitimately excited. Do I think that they are going to set the world on fire and replace Star Wars or something like that? No, probably not. They're going to be smaller properties, probably just kitchen table level things, but there are some really cool ideas. And as somebody who loves card games, I like checking this stuff out. But anyway, so past me took Monday off today, but current me didn't remember that. So I got up and logged into work like I normally do. And then I go, that's weird. Why is my whole schedule blocked out? Oh, because I had PTO. Mistakes may have been made. But anyway, digression aside, speaking of PAX Unplugged, the new home of the Fantasy Flight in-flight report. This was the first one that I was ever able to go to, or I ever even watched, to be honest. Usually I just follow the news afterwards. This was covering, well, all of their games, but at PAX Unplugged, they gave us our first real look at A Lawless Time and the new mechanics. This is up on the mothership right now. I'm sure by this point, tons of people have already gone through it, but I will say that I am legitimately excited by the idea of playing a Jabba the Hutt Sarlacc pit deck, the Great Pit of Carkoon. It's just funny to me. It's super cool. But one of the other things that I'm super excited about is this. The fact that we are going to get dual aspect cards. This is something that people have been talking about for a long time, have been referencing for a long time, and it's just cool that it's finally showing up. Now, we were talking about this offline, a lot of the local Discords, team chat and everything. The idea of these things in Eternal seems bonkers, so it's kind of good that things are rotating when this comes in. These are obviously not all the, or I'm like, no, because Hans Dice is not on here. These are not all the previews, although I will comment that they're the credit tokens, these right here, and things that make them are going to be a big play. This was done, I'm pretty sure this is similar or the same thing that treasure tokens in Magic did. I'm not sure exactly what year. That was well after I stopped playing Magic, but I follow it industry-wise, so I was aware of it. It's a cool idea. It does not count as a resource, so you can't like deploy early. You can't deploy your leader early, anything that actually cares about how many resources you have, but it does allow you to do other things like a more advanced play. Say like you have a credit laying around and then you deploy a 5-cost leader. I think you can plot a 6-cost card. Therefore, all those 5-cost leaders that were like, do I wait around for a Cinta? Well, now you can just play Cinta on your deploy turn. So, say Han 4. I don't know. We'll have to see if any of the credit cards that produce credits, I guess is a better way to say it, will actually matter. I actually think this, I mean, I'll be honest. I've said it before. If it's not in the primary 9 Star Wars movies, as in numbered 1 through 9, I basically don't know what it is. But callbacks to things like Return of the Jedi are a big deal to me. So I love the idea that we have, another Jabba's Rancor. Whether this will actually work, I don't know. We'll have to see, because the reality is it doesn't have a great precedent this far. Is the Sarlacc going to be a thing? I don't know. It's still a long way away. And I mentioned this in other videos that, like, it's way too early to be talking about rotation. Well, maybe not talking about it, but focusing on, well, is this deck good before rotation? Does this matter? Like, who cares? There's going to be a whole nother set. You can get general themes, but the way I put it in other stuff, I think I did in the last video, is imagine if I said in set 3, build a pilot deck. The piloting mechanic literally doesn't exist yet. You can't do it. You could have built a 4-stack, but I guarantee it would have been dramatically different than anything we saw since set 5, and clearly plot also did not exist, unless you, like, if you interpret plot to be smuggle or whatever. Like, there are going to be mechanics that literally don't exist yet. I mean, we have, these dual aspect cards that are going to be coming in. I don't know. I think people are just getting too far ahead of themselves with this sort of thing. And in addition to that, there's no way to know if these new ideas, these new concepts, push out older ones or overlay them or modify them in such a way that the lessons learned are not useful. I'm not saying it's pointless to be doing stuff, but it just seems like wasted effort. So I'm actually legitimately looking forward to it. I will echo what people have said elsewhere, that it is a little exhausting to have, like, we just got, some people, I guarantee you, some players legitimately don't own any set 6 cards, or they only got them like at PAX Unplugged an hour after the in-flight report, or, something like that. It's exhausting to have this perpetual hamster wheel, which I understand that's what Magic does, but that's also Magic. There's a lot of things that go into that. So, like, do we have to be Magic? Do we have to do it the way they do it? I don't think so, but I'm sure there's investor level things that are pushing this. That's kind of my assumption every time. I will also point out that I love this, not just because it's interacting with the Sarlacc, which is also cool, but I love tutors. And I think that having a tutor like this is actually really cool. It's also cool because it says named the Sarlacc of Carcoon, which means that if we get a later Sarlacc of Carcoon, it could tutor for either. That does require discarding a card, but, like, okay, that's your tutor. Is this actually going to be good? Probably not. I would suspect that it is not good enough unless there's a different Sarlacc, but saying at the start of the game, if I get to 8 resources, I will 100% have access to the Sarlacc. I guess it's not 100%, but, like, it's basically 100%. I think that's really cool. I like the concept, is what I'm saying. I know a lot of people that I've played games with before would hate this sort of thing because they don't like the idea that the deck building is much more linear, because it's, okay, well, I'm clearly now I'm playing this guy, so I have to include these things. And it kind of builds itself to a degree. This is only a 2-card thing. So maybe, and you might only run like one Sarlacc, because then it's like, well, if I want it, I can get it, unless you resource it, right? And I don't know if, I don't know. I just can't quite get my head. Like, I understand the complaint, so I kind of have my head around it, but it doesn't bother me about those sort of things. But I understand people who prefer deck building don't like this sort of thing, because then it's, well, the deck is building itself for me, sort of thing. But anyway, we're only a couple weeks away from the first set of PQs. I think I've settled on a deck, but mostly out of, like, I'm doing this because there's nothing else. I'm probably playing Anakin Day Default. There's an outside chance I play Han for Tarkin Town. There apparently was a 1K up in the northeast of the U.S., farther north than me, and I don't know the results. There was a spicy Anakin list that was featuring Overwhelming Barrage out of there. I'm waiting to see, because I was told that there were some other cool ideas that top forward there. I don't know what those are yet, but I want to try and see if I can research what they are, get a better sense of it, and we'll kind of go from there. If there's something cool, I'll play that. Otherwise, I'll probably play Anakin. It feels stable enough that if I'm not going up against a matchup such as Gar or General Blue-Green Villain, that is dedicated to beating me, that I have a chance. I got smoked. I went X1 in the event at PAX, and I got smoked by Gar. Like, it was just not close. I don't think I played it. Not that I made misplays, but like, it was in the sense that strategically I was choosing the wrong line, and therefore, like, every play was technically a misplay. Less so that the individual plays were incorrect. Like, they were correct within the line I was taking, but the line was wrong, so it was pointless. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I don't know. I don't feel real comfortable going in with that deck because I think it is the deck to beat right now, and I hate playing the deck to beat because everybody's gunning for it. They've tested against it. They know their lines. They know their matchups. They know their boarding strategy, all that kind of thing. I would much rather play another tier 1 deck that people aren't as familiar with. Like, playing Vader when people weren't expecting Vader was great. As soon as people expected Vader, it kind of went down the toilet. We'll see what happens here. But this has gone on long enough. Check out my PAX recap video. That'll be going up in the near future. I'm just kind of waiting on some of the different vendors, entities, companies, whatever, to reach out and provide me with the media kits that I'm requesting so that way I can have the appropriate assets. And then we're going to talk about all the cool games. That's going to do it for this time. So as always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time for more Random's Thoughts.